and it was titled, I pushed back on an HR deadline and it accidentally revealed they had a second budget they weren't telling candidates about. I went through a 4-round interview process for a senior ops role at a mid-sized logistics company back in January. Final round went well. I felt good about it. A week later, the HR coordinator emailed an offer with the 48-hour deadline to accept. The base was about 12% below what I had staged as my minimum during the very first screening call. So I replied the same day saying, I appreciate the offer, but that it didn't quite meet the number we had already it didn't quite meet the number we had already discussed. And if there was any flexibility. She came back a few hours later and said the offer was firm and that the deadline still stood. I didn't panic, but I also didn't sign. What I did instead was reply and say I understood that I was still very interested in the role and asked if we could schedule a 15-minute call with the hiring manager before the deadline to talk through the compensation structure and what growth looked like in year two. She agreed, probably expecting me to just accept on the call. The hiring manager got on within about 4 minutes. He said, look, I think there might have been some miscommunication on the range. Let me look at what we have and put me on hold. He came back and offered me a number that was actually 6% above my original ask. Turns out they had a separate budget line for senior hires that HR wasn't servicing to candidates unless they pushed back past the initial offer stage. I've since told 3 people about this, and 2 of them tried the same thing on their own offers. One of them got bumped up, the other didn't, but said it was worth asking. The deadline was extended automatically once I requested a call. They never mentioned that was possible either. So this is some good stuff. This is some good stuff. Simply because you never want to accept the first offer. And it's not about what you're worth, it's about what you negotiate. So I want you to remember that. And while we're here, let me see if I should go into the second one. Yeah, because these are all around jobs. It's this, and then it's actually, since this segment is kind of about getting jobs, stuff like that, there was a TikTok I found from that same one of the recruiter guys we listened to last week who had some excellent advice on how to stand out. So here's another one. It said, it finally happened. I got the your job hopping comment in the wild. I was with my last company for 2 years before being laid off in January. Before that, I was in a job for 6 months, then I got laid off. Before these jobs, I had 2 4-year tenures. Maybe I'm not the most loyal of employees, but also definitely not the worst. Went for a job interview at a government agency, and the old lady went,
I'm dead.
you have the tech skills we need, but it's hard for me to believe in you when you job top 4 times in 10 years. Me. Well, actually, if you recall some news reports around both times, I was hiring manager. In my experience, layoffs are usually the employee's fault. After all, if 90% of the employees are staying, then why are you at the bottom 10%? Actually, I was a high performer due for a promotion. Thanks for your time. HR lady will see you out. Cut to HR lady looking extremely uncomfortable. I thanked her and noped out of there. I couldn't fight back because I'm desperate. I wanted to tell her that I was probably making more than she does in my first job 10 years ago. I want to tell her the only reason I even applied for her job is because I'm a foreigner in the EU and need a job ASAP before my talent import visa runs out. And I want to tell her that I was a human being and deserved some minimal respect. But I couldn't because I was desperate and upset. So here I am whining about it on Reddit. Yeah, that's crazy. That's it sucked because it's like I've had that happen before. I reached out to a director about a role one time, and I was like, "Hey, I saw you talk about the job, and I think I had the experience you're looking for the role. What are you looking for?" Yeah, thanks. And so he accepted my connection, looked over my resume and stuff like that. Well, not my resume, my LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn shows you only stay at jobs blank amount of years. You got answers to that?
I'm actually, I'm low key offended.
I'm like, well, honestly, only 2 jobs I actually was at for about a year. And I was like, that literally just happened. That was just wonky, it just wasn't good fits. But I was like, before that, those jobs, I was almost at one job for 4 years. And then my current thing, I've been there for however many years now. So after that, I didn't say nothing. So I took that as like, you just wanted to nitpick me and you didn't want to hire me anyway. Which is, I actually respect you just be a blunt, say, I don't want to hire you, versus you just making up some BS. Because if the dude got the talent you need, you don't care how long he stays somewhere because they can do what you need them to do.
That is literally what I was about to say. I got the skill set. You worried about the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So I definitely do feel a lot of the young cats and stuff when they kind of go through some of these things, and because it's stupid, in my opinion. Here we go.
Get asked in a job interview, why do you want to leave your current job? I want you to tell them you're not. I want you to take advantage of the fact that they don't know anything about you or your current job. So while everybody else is saying the same tired answer, oh, I'm just looking for a new opportunity, there's no more room to grow where I am, I'm looking to grow, you are going to be more specific and more memorable and someone they have to do some work to get. I wouldn't say that I actively am trying to leave my current job, but there are things out there that could make a job or a company a better opportunity for me. So when I noticed this job posting, I thought it only made sense to send in an application. The fact that this role needs X or the fact that this company does Y really interests me and is worth exploring and learning more about this opportunity.
I'm gonna pause it right there because as you say, he ate down, and that helps out. I've had times where I've talked to healthcare companies or whoever, and I've always said stuff like, I apply to it, it interests me. After all the hacks I've seen, like Change Healthcare, and everywhere else, I want to do a job that I know that can help protect the in person that was receiving these services and everything else. And the recruiters love that. And it's one thing that definitely can say, okay, I got buy into the culture of what our mission is from a security org. So he's definitely telling y'all, the facts. Like, we got the gift of gab. You can BS something, but if it's I say depending on how much you really want to do the role. Like, if it's something you just apply to, like, they ain't finna call me. Oh, I'm just looking for better career opportunities. Keep it bland. But if it's something you really want to go through the system with, and I don't know if he probably not gonna mention on this because it's a different thing. But I always say, even if you don't get the job, but you enjoyed the interview process, stay connected with some of the people you interview with. They can essentially come your network and just warm messages throughout the years. You never know what'll come from that. But let's let them keep eating.
Because I do want to be intentional with any career moves I make and not just be someone who's going from place to place hoping to find something good. And luckily, because I'm not in a bad position right now, I really have the chance to find the right opportunity for me. This both shows you do care where you work and also shows the company that they're going to have to do a little bit to show you it's the right fit. All while also not making sure you look too flippant about the job and are really exploring the right opportunities, not just everything. When you get
That was cute. He chewed.
Yeah, I like that. Like, he definitely was on to something. Let me see what else you could say. A lot of stuff you can do. So another thing that kind of low-key helps, because it helped me one time because a recruiter said something about it. I applied for a role and I also followed the company on LinkedIn. So it's like little simple things that you can do that can kind of set you apart from everybody else. So I would say definitely try that as well. But yeah, I thought that was cool. And let me see if there's anything else you can do outside of having a decent LinkedIn. Oh, also, guys, while I'm here, last week, Markeisha and I, we did resume roast and people loved it. So go to the live tab of the channel and check out the resume roast and see if you've made any of the cardinal issues we did. Now, a lot of people in the comments are saying, hey, well, you guys are like, y'all just looking for something wrong. Yeah, that's the whole point of a roast. The whole point of the roast was to nitpick your resume, because a lot of you don't know is when you're part of the job, if the recruiter even sees it, if it gets past AI, they got 6-7 seconds, maybe they're looking at it. So they're not even looking at it in the detail that we are. They're just looking for keywords and everything else. So this was to help you out and be thorough with people, whether it comes to their LinkedIn or whether it came to their resume, to help them out. And so we may make it a monthly thing or whatever, because people really did enjoy it. That's
how many did y'all do?
We did 3 or 4, because we was like on a time crunch. But if we ever had like 2 hours or 3 hours to go through, it's fine. And also, another thing people don't understand is y'all got like what you would typically pay for that service out of us was much more than you got for watching it for free. So you definitely should appreciate that. Free 99. So take advantage of it. But it has timestamps and everything else. So yeah, go check that out.
My go.